Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast, brought to you by thelines.com. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined as always by Nate Weitzer on the East Coast. And we are looking at playoff props here for Wednesday night's NBA playoff slate. In this one, like I said, all the player props, but we also have a best bets up for you. So make sure to check that video out, like and subscribe to that page. You can also head to thelines.com, throwing up all the picks up on the site. And you can check out the odds finder tool on there. Make sure you're getting the best odds available to you and all these bets you're making in the NBA this postseason. Doing pretty well so far as we can tell this week on player props. We are recording this video on Tuesday for you. I have the luxury of knowing that the two Hawks players I bet on did hit their props, so we're feeling pretty good about that. Al Horford also having a big game for the C's. So we will continue to monitor that, get the info back to you guys on how we continue to do with these playoff props. But for now, Nate, let's go ahead and jump right into your first prop for Wednesday.
Yeah, first prop is similar to my first game pick, which is the Bucks to win and to get some performance doubles there. Giannis, 30 points is his prop. I expect him to get 30. Expect him to also get 10 boards. And the Bucks to win, that's plus 175. You can jump that up by plus 100 if you take him to get 12 rebounds, which is, pretty standard. His last two regular season home games against the Heat, 16 boards per game on top of 31 points per game. In that sweep of the Heat back in 2021 in the playoffs, he had 15 boards per game. Did not do that much scoring because Miami couldn't score either. But that is my one concern here, is that Miami's offense will fizzle out. Jimmy Butler will not be able to replicate what he did in game 4 at all, and he just doesn't have much of a supporting cast. So I am a little concerned about a blowout, but we've seen Giannis put up 38-point triple-doubles and blowouts all year, right? I mean, he's going to be coming out with a fury. I mean, you might want to look at his first half props, which are going to be available. You can probably just get half this total for him to have that in the first half. Like, he's going to come out strong. He was clearly healthy enough to drop a triple-double, to drop 13 dimes in game 4, just roasting the Heat in pick and roll because they were trying to guard him that way, and now they're going to have to adjust, and they're going to have to give up more points as he comes home. But yeah, I mean, Giannis is the ultimate bounce back guy, right? After a loss in the playoffs, I'll just read you his game log: 25-20, 40-11, 42-12-8. That's all against Boston, who guards him really well. An 18-7-9 game against Chicago, which is not competitive. He only played 29 minutes. And then in the finals, after those first two losses, 42-12 and 41-13 against the Suns. So I would not be surprised if he goes 35 plus if he needs to. But I'm going to play it relatively safe and just say he gets his points prop, because I don't think Miami's going to be in this one to the fourth quarter.
That's fair. Yeah, that's totally fair. He obviously did a bit more of everything last game, getting the triple-double and the assists as well. So the points, they're going to need to keep getting him the ball. And he, he only had 4 free throw attempts in that last game. So kind of indicative of him being a bit more of a facilitator. Either way, the 10 rebounds and a W for the 175. Really, really like that as well. I think that's pretty much a lock for him to get 10 boards. And then they just need to pull out the victory, which is such a big spread right now. Seems like Vegas does think that they will do that, and I think we both agree. So, I'm with all the Giannis stuff in this one. I'm going to go to a lesser known guy, not known, but less popular, let's just say, than Giannis, which is most guys in the NBA right now. But Austin Reaves on the Lakers, and I'm looking at his points once again, 15.5. If he goes over that, minus 108 on FanDuel. Pretty good odds there for him to get the 16. I also do like to just put a quarter of a unit on the 20 points for him, plus 240 on FanDuel for him to drop 20 in this game, something he's done twice in the series. He's either dropped 20 or he hasn't gotten to 16. Let's put it that way in the 4 games. And I think one of the reasons that I like him so much is just kind of like follow the minutes, follow not only how many he's getting, follow when he's getting them. A couple of the props that I've hit in the last couple of nights between Caleb Martin and Bogdan Bogdanovic were based on the fact that like maybe other guys will get time throughout the first 2 or 3 quarters of the game, but he's going to be in there at the end. Lo and behold, he played the whole 12 minutes of the whole fourth quarter. Bogey had to wait until the fourth quarter, where he played more of the minutes in the second half as well. And I'm following that same logic here for Austin Reaves, who they honestly trust At this point, he might have surpassed Dennis Schroeder as the sort of third playmaker, or at least even really the second playmaker on this team, who they entrust with the ball in his hands, outside of LeBron, bringing it down or initiating things, and really also looking for his own shot. At this point, like, D'Lo is not that guy. D'Lo is really kind of in there as a shooting guard. He's expected to just make plays and get buckets off the dribble when they need it, but not necessarily look for other guys and be the guy to like control the offense, make sure they get a good shot, and then sort of isolate his guy on the wing. That's been Austin Reaves. That's why he's been, in the games that they've kind of looked at him, where at the end of the game where it's been close, he's played 12 minutes the entire fourth quarter of the last two games, when it was a bit closer and they needed someone out there to continue getting scoring, continue getting buckets. This is also a game, as we talk about in the best bets video, where the old heads kind of need to rest a bit. AD needs to rest, as you said, as we were talking about, and LeBron definitely needs a bit of a breather as well in this game. So I don't know that how long they're going to be in it, but I think Austin Reaves will always be the guy, even running the second unit if there's garbage time at times. Like, let's say that they don't have much hope and it's a third quarter, he's going to be the main guy out there, and probably alongside guys like Rui and Troy Brown, as they try to sort of see if they can make a comeback and bring LeBron and AD back in the fourth quarter, or just let the thing go at that point. But Austin Reaves will be out there continuing to get his. So as the young legs, and main, like I said, if he's the secondary option, or let's say third in terms of playmaker, even if you want to have, say, Schroeder's ahead of him a bit, like, he's out there and up there with him. And if LeBron's going to be, not out there quite as much, then that's going to be your 1A and 1B.
Yeah, I like this pick, even though I like the Lakers to go under 109 as well, because I think this is a choppy series. Obviously, it's been trending under consistently. It's become more and more physical. But Memphis also has really been foul prone since the All-Star break, since they lost Steven Adams. And Austin Reaves is the free throw meister, right? I mean, it wouldn't be surprising if he gets 10 points at the line, and then gets to 16 or gets to 20, as like you said, the veterans let him cook down the stretch. I'm just going to try to hope that Cleveland shows some backbone, basically, with this pick, that Jarrett Allen can grab 10 rebounds, because he just got thrown around like a rag doll for 2 games in New York. And I mean, it's just not a good look. Cleveland actually surprisingly was not the greatest rebounding team since the All-Star break. They were actually bottom 10, and the Knicks were top 2. So this is just a real key point of emphasis. I mean, the numbers do not indicate that it's extremely likely, given the fact that he just got kind of owned. But I mean, you look in game 1 when the series started in Cleveland, they were able to out rebound the Knicks by 13 in a losing effort. Jarrett Allen did have 14 and 14 and played 43 minutes. Like, he's going to play almost the entire game, and they were able to play Mitchell Robinson off the floor. He was a minus 15 in 26 minutes because Donnie Mitchell was cooking so well, and the Knicks needed to kind of match that. And I would expect the Cavs offense to be much better as they get home. I mean, the Knicks only shot 40% from the field in games 1 and 2. Just a dreadful shooting in game 2. So there should be rebounding opportunities there. And the Cavs, well, I said they were a bad rebounding team, slightly better at home. 6 more boards per game actually at home since the All-Star break, in part because their defense is so good at home. Jarrett Allen, but I mean, before those 2 games where he got bullied, he did have 6 straight double-digit boards in the playoffs. That, of course, being the first 2 of this series, and 4 against Toronto, where he had pretty big rebounding totals against a Toronto team that's also pretty physical. So I expect him to just be challenged behind closed doors, to go out there and hold his own and control the boards for the home team as they face elimination.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out which props I liked in this one, and nothing screamed out to me. I do think the rebounds could go either way. I mean, you could still have a bevy of rebounds available for both he and Evan Mobley. I think one of those guys is getting 10. One of them has pretty much every game. When one doesn't, the other does, because it's not great offense out there. So, if you continue to feel like there's going to be plenty of missed shots, I just couldn't in all good conscience take a rebounding bet against the Knicks, as I'm also wanting them to get over 100 points. So a little bit of conflict there for me, but I'm not saying all things aren't possible and that I think it's a bad bet in any way. But I'm going to finish things off in the Dubs game there, and the Kings game. A little bit of not necessarily gamesmanship. I mean, De'Aaron Fox is hurt, definitely hurt, obviously, on his hand there, and as a result, not necessarily going to be able to shoot as well. And it was a much better shooter this season. Talk about it in the game video, why I actually still like the Dubs to win if D Fox is not at 100%. But if he's not, enter Malik Monk to be able to be the instant offense that they need. He's the guy that they turn to when they need offense, and make no mistake, without De'Aaron Fox, they're going to need a playmaking guard, or at least a similar guard in terms of a big athletic guy who's fast and can get out on the break and make good decisions and attack the rim, a la both De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk. So he's a really solid backup, right? Like they like to say, have your backup be of a similar type to your starter, which isn't always the case, but in this case, he's a nice sort of just second backup QB, if you will, to the offense, from the standpoint that he has that same sort of style of play and is a better 3-point shooter than D Fox is. So the over 15.5 points, to make clear, is definitely a bet that I like enough to go 1.5 units on. But I'm going to take Monk 20 plus as well, to go ahead and get that at plus money there. And I don't have that bet in front of me yet, because Malik Monk probably won't be starting if D Fox is in fact playing like we expect him to at this point. But either way, like his props will be up. And then the 20 plus for him as sort of an alternate points total, I really like, as well, as even if D Fox is playing and they're both out there together, you're really going to need one of them to be able to shoot the ball. And I would actually look maybe at trying to get a little bit cute with whatever De'Aaron Fox's assists are, because maybe D Fox is going to be a bit more of a facilitator in this game if he is going to get out there and play. Sure, he can get out and start the break and get out on the dribble, but really going to need to find guys before he's going to be able to shoot the thing. So, but regardless, let's just be very clear. The sort of backup backcourt at this point is more of a rotation between Davion Mitchell and Malik Monk. Kevin Huerter hasn't been much in this series, not nearly the player that he was in that Hawks series when he helped them win in that first round. So I would, expect Monk to be continuing to get the time that he has, especially in the fourth quarter. You've seen when they've needed offense, they need someone to close the game. Malik Monk's played 12 minutes in two different fourth quarters this series. So I expect him to get the time no matter what, to easily get 16, and then I think likely to get 20.
It's a fine pick. I think by the numbers, it doesn't look good. When De'Aaron Fox does not play, Malik's efficiency plummets because he really plays off Fox more than anybody. And he just really started to struggle with his decision making down the stretch there in Golden State, which makes me think, like maybe I would want the over on turnovers. I'm not that bullish to say like 20 plus points. I think he will have heightened usage. I will call a Kevin Huerter game though at 14.5 points. I think he'll be in there. I see this more closer to the game 2 we had in Sacramento, where the Kings won on defense. I don't think they're going to actually win the game, but Huerter did have 15 points. There's on only 2 for 9 from 3, and he does tend to shoot better from 3 at home. Sabonis also had 24 in that game, matching with Fox. So I would go Sabonis 20 points before I go Malik Monk, basically, is what I'm thinking here to keep the Kings in the game.
We'll see. Yeah, Sabonis to get 20 points isn't going to get you the juice from Malik Monk, but I think a quarter of a unit for him to get 4 more points than I'm already predicting him to get feels okay. He's gotten 16 in 3 of these games, with just one bad game there coming in the third game of the series, where nobody for Sacramento played well. And I hear what you're saying about him being better playing off of Fox, but he's also still going to get those second unit minutes where he's not going to have to worry about playing against some of the better defenders that the Dubs have on their starting unit. So that's all the time, though, that we have for you in this one. Make sure to like and subscribe to that page. Continue to follow along. We're bringing you these videos each and every day of these NBA playoffs. So until we see you next, happy betting.